I originally set out to do this video to do a direct comparison between the new Onewheel GTS and the original GT, primarily on climbs, both on pavement and on the trails. But the GTS had one surprise I wasn't prepared for. Go ahead and fast forward towards the end of the video if you like, or just watch it through. These first two climbs were obviously on pavement, with a 10% grade on the first one and up to about a 12% grade on this climb. One of the things I don't hear very often mentioned in these videos is the Onewheel smartwatch app, which is really useful and has a neat display. As you can see here, it's blue for the GTS and yellow for the original GT. It shows your speed, your battery percentage, and mileage and other information, which is really useful. It also works with both Apple Watches and Android smartwatches. This walking path is especially steep and probably reaches grades in excess of 15%. You will notice that on these videos I try to synchronize the beginning point of each climb, but by the end of the climb, usually the GTS is far ahead of the GT, and this was not by plan. I was not pushing both boards to the maximum. This was a very short horse trail that had a steep, small incline, but it does show how the extra torque of the GTS makes it just that much easier and confident to climb. This is the last segment and shows a longer trail climb and descent from a drone's perspective. Again, I synchronized the videos at the beginning of the climb and again at the beginning of the descent, but the GTS generally moves out faster than the GT. As a casual rider, my thoughts about the GTS and whether you need it is simply that the GTS is essentially the same as the original GT, except that it has substantially more torque and power. The effect of this is to give you more confidence when riding either on the street or on trails. The GTS just feels more stable. If you enjoy pushing the limits of your Onewheel or do a lot of tricks, the extra speed and torque of the GTS will certainly help you push the limits even farther. But if you're a more casual rider and just use your Onewheel to run errands, go get a cup of coffee, or maybe an occasional trail that's fairly easy, like I do, your riding does not involve a lot of hills or climbs, then there really is little need for the GTS, especially if you already have a GT. However, if you live in an area with a lot of steep climbs or roads or trails, lots of mountains or hills, then the GTS extra torque will come in handy. In any event, whether you need the GTS or you just want to upgrade to the latest thing, the extra torque and power of the GTS will certainly give you that extra bit of confidence no matter where you ride. But as I found out towards the end of this clip, nothing is perfect. As I came down this descent on the left on my GTS with an excess of 75% of battery left on my board, the GTS had a surprise. It just died. Hi there. So I've just finished doing a ride with my GT Series S board, and I was doing a comparison actually with my GT and doing both the GT and the GTS in similar clips of the same sort of terrain, mainly climbs, to see if the GTS's power made a big difference. But unfortunately, on this last clip that I did, as you will see, as I was coming down the trail in mid-ride, all of a sudden the GTS just died, just bricked, and just threw me off, and that was it. I thought I'd actually somehow maybe disengaged the foot pad, which didn't make any sense now that I think about it, because I wasn't going slow enough to do that. but I had slowed down, so at least it was nothing serious. Yeah, it just died completely in mid-ride. And when I went back, I tried to turn it back on, and it's just dead. There is no power at all. It won't turn on. And here it is. And as you can see, if I look it over here, and I turn on the power switch on the board, there's no lights, nothing at all. And the board was charged to 90%. I was only on the ride with this board for about 1.5 miles. So there wasn't enough to make any dent really, or any significant dent in the battery power. And it just died. And there's now pushing the power button, no lights at all, no warning, error codes, no haptic buzz, no pushback, no nothing. So it just bricked all of a sudden. So I thought the next thing I'd do is try and go ahead and plug it in and see if it charges. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and see what happens. Okay, so here's the board, and I have the charger here, and it is plugged in. As you can see, green light's on. And so we'll see what happens. But right now, it's still no lights at all, no responsiveness at all to the power switch. So let's go ahead and plug it in and see what happens. Looks like nothing. Just plugged it in. No lights, no indication it's even getting power. The green light is still on the charger. There is no indication. It's not going red. So it's not charging, and there is no power at all to the board. Just dead. Okay, so I'm going to make a report to Future Motion and see what they say, and I'll keep you guys updated.